One of the topics we wanted to revisit this week, but of course, you could set the tone in the topic, whatever it is, 440-546-2255, was how to combat imposter syndrome. Yeah. So if you're not familiar with imposter syndrome, it's essentially the feeling of, oh no, I can't believe I'm allowed to do whatever this is, whether it's your job or whatever. If people only knew, I'd get fired immediately. And so you carry a significant measure of stress, believing that you don't deserve what you have and you didn't earn what you have, and you're just an imposter. Mm-hmm. Have you ever felt that before?
All the time.
All the time?
Oh, yeah.
As a pastor, you felt that?
Not as a pastor. I mean, I guess I'm a pastor, but not in the pastorate.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Have I felt?
What's the context where you felt it?
Have I? Like worlds honestly, like in the apologetics world, and like scholarship communities, because obviously, I got a master's in apologetics, so you're supposed to know apologetics, and then when you get a PhD, you're supposed to be like a scholar. So, like a lot of times, there's like I carry anxiety around. Like, so I think people think I'm smarter than I really am.
Oh boy, I bet a lot of people feel that.
And it's like, what happens when they realize, like, no, like, I have like a field of study, like I'm not expert of all things, everything, like, but no, I really there, and then so sometimes you just be wondering, man, like, you ever been in a room and I think it's wise to always be around people that's smarter than you, but sometimes you're just in a room and you listen to people talk and you're like, wait a minute. I'm
going to stay quiet because they don't need to hear this.
Yeah, like if this is what the scholar's supposed to sound like, yeah, I'm just a pastor.
Well, and because I'm telling you, it's always really easy to quickly find someone who's better than you at anything, unless you're Simone Biles, and then
right,
nobody's better than her.
Nobody's better than her at that. But the rest of us. Like, for me to find a better radio host, not hard. I could start listening to them. And so you start going, wait a minute.
That's hard, Brian.
Stop that. It's not true.
It is.
Daria, you ever felt imposter syndrome?
Yeah. I shared briefly just because of my age, not just with like my work, but just life experience. Like, I am not qualified to, we moved a couple times. I'm not qualified to be married, not qualified to own a house. Just all these things that I've done and am doing. I'm like, no, I can't do that.
Yeah, I relate to that. I remember when the first time I spoke out loud that I said the phrase, my daughter, for my oldest kid. I was like, wait, someone's going to let me take care of a kid? I don't know if that's a good idea. If they only knew me.
First time I said my husband, my mom freaked out. This was at my wedding.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Ron, you ever felt, you're so easygoing.
Oh, yeah.
You felt imposter syndrome?
Yeah, frequently.
Really?
Yeah. Even sitting here at the board, I'll do something and make a mistake, and I'm like, somebody else should be doing this.
If they only found out about me and how terrible I am at that. No, you're great.
Well, thank you.
People love you. I think you're the favorite.
Well, the women at Renew love me.
You are the fan favorite, Ron. I think it's so interesting. Like, everything that anyone does, even if it's not you, it's like, oh, great job, Ron. Everything revolves around Ron.
Let's go, Ron. Let's go.
Wow.
Yeah, no,
yeah.
It sounds like she's exaggerating, but she's not.
I'm not. We got a text just a couple weeks ago. Oh, Ron, I love that thing. Like, oh, thank you. That was me.
We did a listener survey not too long ago where the determination was Ron is basically running the whole place.
I believe it. I've seen it. I've seen it. Seen it with my own eyes.
Yeah. I think someone thought you were the manager.
Seen it with my own eyes. It's you, brother.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
You, brother.
Well, it's good of you.
But yeah, I think the social media era has. Somebody emailed me. I gotta return that email. My bad.
Hey, I think it's time for a break. Here's what I want to do, Pastor. When we come back from this break, we need to talk about the fact that it seems that that having imposter syndrome is relatively universal at some point in everyone's life.
Yeah.
So what do we as believers do with it? In studio with us all morning, Pastor Leonard Tanks Jr.
Yes, it's me.
He's pastor of Reach City Church in Cleveland's Huff neighborhood.
Yep.
And we haven't, we're going to get to imposter syndrome, to our discussion about that here in just a moment. But first, I do have to say, hearty congratulations from the whole family here at WCRF to you on the birth of your first grandchild.
Yeah. You already know what it is, cuz. Yeah, I like the applause. You know, you shouldn't have. You shouldn't have.
How much are you willing to share about your grandson? You don't have to share. I mean,
what you want me? What you want me to
like
share?
the whole, like how old is he?
Oh,
the
I'm
whole
like, what you want me to
specs,
share? He's 2 weeks old.
2 weeks, so he's little.
He's a baby. He was born 7 pounds, some amount of ounces, and 21 inches long.
Are you allowed to share his name or not?
Enzo. Yeah, I don't think I don't know these new rules. Enzo.
Mm-hmm.
His name's Enzo.
Is he cute?
He's handsome.
There you go.
Sorry. Is he ripped already?
Of course.
Yeah.
And so it's cool.
Is Dee Dee looking at you like, oh man, I wish we had one like this. It's so little and cute.
She was looking at me like that before the grandbaby. I think the grandbaby is the fix to the look.
Yeah,
There you go.
it is, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Ron tells us it's the best of both worlds. You get to snuggle with the baby and then hand him off to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I guess my daughter lived with me though, so
Oh, okay, a little different.
a little different.
But you're not getting up with him, are you?
I have a couple of times.
What a guy.
Good for you.
I mean, cause she's still like, she's a new mom, and sometimes she needs a break.
Yeah.
So,
What a grandpappy you are. Grandpappy.
and I'm already up, so it's not even really like I'm getting up with him. It's like it's 4 a.m. I'm up anyway, so it's like, just give him to me.
Well, there's nothing better than a little tiny baby sleeping on you. Ugh.
No, it's pretty cool, man. I love it, man. Get my granddad time every day.
Yeah.
When they're still, is he still kind of curling up like he's in the womb? You know, they put their arms and legs and just curl.
He's stretching out a little bit now. He's not like completely being curled up. So it's cool though, man. It's cool, man. I don't really know what it is yet, but it's cool.
All right.
That's all I know.
Congratulations. Okay, so we're chatting about imposter syndrome. It's something that research indicates actually women experience this more than men, especially high-achieving women in the workplace, apparently. So watch out, Daria. You're in the workplace, you're a woman, and you're high-achieving.
Yep. I've been dealing with that for a long time.
But you don't... See, for me, it's like, of course I have imposter syndrome, if people only knew. But when I look at someone like Daria, I go, what in the world would you worry about that for? You're competent, you're talented.
Oh, thank you.
You deserve everything you've got. You know what I mean?
Good job.
But I'm not just saying stuff on the radio. I do that sometimes, but not this time.
Oh, okay.
So we've all said before the break that we feel this. It's the idea that you think to yourself, there's a measure of anxiety about your life because you say, if people only knew, really knew me, they'd know that I shouldn't be the boss, the whatever, like fill in the blank. I shouldn't be in charge of this or that because if they only knew. So what do we do with that as believers? Any thoughts, team, on how you combat this?
I think we just need to realize that God has equipped us all with different gifts, like we talked about with the Apostle Paul. Everyone has their own spiritual gifts, and that He has placed us in our positions for a reason, and that we're all flawed. I think one of the reasons we suffer from this is we see our own flaws and we're just so intimately acquainted with them. Like for me, I'm a horrible speller. So every time I have to look up a word, I'm like, I might as well just, give up on life because I can't spell a couple words. But, everybody has those little idiosyncrasies where there's something they should be good at, but they're not. And I think as soon as we realize that everybody has those, maybe that starts to get better.
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Ron, what's your advice? You said, I'm surprised to hear you felt this.
Oh, yeah.
You usually are just so easygoing about things. You're like, yeah, I'm not the best, not the worst. I'm happy.
Yeah, I'm not the worst, but being not the best makes me think, well, there's other people who are closer to being the best, and they'd probably be better at this board operating than I am.
And you do more than that, by the way. But
Well, yeah, a little bit. But yeah, I think you got to realize God loves you, has a plan for your life. He's put you in this position. And if He's put you here, don't take yourself out just by your own self-doubt. If He doesn't want you operating this board, in my case, then he would make it evident, and Josh would say, look, we've had enough of your mistakes. You're out, buddy. We'll get somebody younger and more capable.
Oh, you stop this.
Pitch you out to the old folks' home.
We don't receive that, right?
We don't receive that. That's the imposter syndrome talking.
Yeah.
Pastor, how do you battle imposter syndrome?
Prayer. Lots of prayer. No, yeah, I mean, I think one, trying to just obviously remember that, I'm ultimately where I'm at, because this is what God wants me to be. Try to stay focused on the fact that regardless of what I may feel from a workspace standpoint, purely, like, I also know, like, no, but I know the work that I put in, like, so it's like it creeps in, but it's also not, how you have, like, I feel like you can have imposter syndrome because you really shouldn't be in the room and people think you should be in the room, and then you can have imposter syndrome and it's like, no, but I actually should be in the room, but the enemy's just in my brain. And so I think in those moments, it's like, for the subject matters that I'm talking about, at least it's like, no, but at the end of the day, I do know my capabilities. I know my research. I know my studies. And so, just trying to remind myself, like, okay, God got me. And wait, I know I put discipline in. I know I put work in. And then honestly, man, just in this season of my life, man, I am just really blocking social media stuff.
Yeah, I think social media is a major culprit of imposter syndrome because people post about their successes.
Yeah.
And so you go, look at this person's successful, and I'm barely making it to the end of the day today.
Yeah. It's horrible. So,
and they've got their own imposter syndrome problems, and they're only showing you the good stuff. Yeah, social media is a mess.
Social media is the problem of a lot of stuff.
And studies have shown that, like, couples that post more about how happy they are statistically are more likely to be unhappy than couples that keep a lower profile online.
That's right. We talked about that. I forgot about that.
As somebody who talks to many married couples, I agree.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't that odd? It's like they're compensating for it. Like, they feel insecure about their relationship, so they're trying to portray that it's secure.
Let it be known that the statements that I made do not reflect any of the married couples inside of Reed City Church.
Right. You've been counseling in and out of the church.
But I've seen it. I've seen it, and I've seen those social medias, and I'm like, this is not real.
I think imposter syndrome often comes when we try desperately to hide our weaknesses.
Yeah.
But that's it from it. I think it's true because I think you can actually, by acknowledging your weaknesses, even though it feels counterintuitive, you can actually build credibility with people.
Yeah.
I've watched my wife with a significant measure of humility do this well, like in a professional environment where she's not afraid to say, I don't know, and I'll find out, or I don't know how to do this. Can you help me? And it builds credibility for her. People are afraid when they admit a weakness, suddenly someone's going to go, you're worthless. Well, no, you got strengths.
I got you.
Like, to be able to say, I'm not good at this. Someone else is better, but I'm good at this. I think it would help all of us with imposter syndrome. Now, I'm preaching to myself.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I think, too, I think that level of humility takes out the puffing up of the chest, which I think can also influx imposter syndrome, because if you boast too much in yourself, now you have I have to show up to the level in which I boasted of myself.
And continue to outdo myself as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Versus, like you said, being just humble and vulnerable enough to be like, hey, listen, I'm here by the grace of God. I'm no expert. I'm just being obedient. It kind of also just is like, hey, listen, I didn't give you this crazy expectation and I now got all this pressure to put on myself. I can really just show up prepared and disciplined and not be perfect because I didn't promise you perfect.
Yeah, that's very good. Thanks, Pastor.
Thanks for watching. Do you need more Ron in your life? Subscribe and ring the notification bell so you never miss a new video.